What's up? What's up? Thanks for joining. Watch the game. We took a week off last week unexpectedly. I was a little bit under the weather and had some unexpected birthday activities, but it was more so the weather. And we got to kind of take a step back, a step into the situation we're in right now because the Bears are in first place in the North. They're taking on an identity, a different type. Well, they're the tight game every week, but it's someone different each week that's stepping up big to win these games for the Chicago Bears. Week 11 was very interesting, Penn. Extremely interesting, especially in that afternoon 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock window. That part of the football, that part of the day got very, very interesting for several different reasons. Really big matchups, and then Shador hit the field. What you got, man?
Yeah. No, we 7-3. I think is this we taking the North? Are we taking the North? Wait a minute, no, back up, man. Hold on, because we talking about the Bears first. I know we gonna talk about the Bears first. I gotta do this because you told the people that you will have your assessment ready after about 10 games for the Chicago Bears. So everybody that follows us know they are expecting this assessment to come tonight. So they don't want to hear from me. They don't want to know what I think. I'm with the team. You know what I'm saying? It's 7-3, first place in the North. They want to know what LA Cheatham and his suspended fandomship is thinking of the first placed National Football Conference Chicago Bears. Tell them how you feel, Mean Gene.
Listen, 7-3. I guess you could say they beat the teams they should have beat. The schedule gets real. Now, as far as my fandom suspension, I will be reevaluating my option of March of 2026.
26.
Okay? 2026. March of 2026.
You
I
picked
will
up
suspend
options.
it. I suspended my Bears fandom March of 2024. So March of 2026 will mark 2 years. I'm dead serious about this. Extremely serious about this. So the Bears, like I said, we're going to take a step back because I want to get into that Giants game a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a chance to cover that. That game was a tale of 3 different quarterback stories. And I'm going to leave it at this. Now, first story. Jackson Dart was the best player on the field until he went down with a concussion. Russell Wilson is done.
Yeah.
Officially done.
You see Jameis got the start, right?
Yeah, Jameis should have been the backup any damn way based on what I've seen with the Packers and Giants.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is done. Go get a job on television or be Sierra's producer. I don't know. But he's done. As far as the Giants game, this was the first game that I ever seen the Bears win because of Caleb Williams. Okay? So, that sums up the Giants game from week 10 where the Bears come from behind to beat the Giants because of Caleb Williams. Now, I think unless you got something to say about that game in particular, I'm up to date now with my thought process. As far as that's concerned, I can get a little bit more into
what
I think they are now.
Yeah. Bears had a lot of drops that game. Zacchaeus had a lot of drops, and when what's my man named Luther Burden was getting his opportunities, I felt like real time as the game was going on, that emotion he was showing on the field was because he thought he should be playing in front of Zacchaeus, and then came out towards the week that he was gonna get more looks and stuff. So but yeah, we saw that play out real time. And I don't think that's the first game they've won because of Caleb, because Caleb has put him in position when it was clutch time. Time and
I'm
time.
not counting Cowboys and Bengals.
No. I ain't counting that.
Putting them in
Wait.
position for the field goal to kick a field goal, I give you that. But I'm talking about that game was the reason why they won. They won that game because of Caleb Williams.
Why you ain't counting the
He
Bengals?
put him on his back.
Why you not counting the Bengals game? Remember
Because
he
it's the
scrambled to get
Bengals.
the first down, and
Because
then
it's the
he
Bengals. Because it's
you
the
got
Bengals.
you can only play who
No
on your schedule.
defense. And the Cowboys, no defense.
You can only play who on your schedule.
I understand, but the game that the Bears beat the Giants was the first time I seen the Bears beat a team because of Caleb Williams. And that's my opinion. I want to send a shout out to Cuz Swifty McVay and my boy John Taylor Jackson. They checking us out tonight. Swifty's boys, the Colts were on a bye this week, so they'll be getting ready for that big game we thought about in the week. It was at week 12. We
Yeah.
getting ready for. They'll be playing the Chiefs. Big shout out to my
And
because
the
Swifty.
Chiefs 5-5. That's a big game.
Chiefs need that game.
Yeah.
Chiefs need that game. And that's gonna be a big one in week 12. But I want to send a shout out before I went any further. They checking us out right now. What's up? Because
Yo.
Swifty and my boy John Taylor Jackson. He a big Bears fan. He's in Indianapolis. He's in the 317, but he representing the Bears. And the Bears are first in the NFC North right now. And I think the Colts are first in the AFC. Is that in the AFC South?
AFC South, yeah.
Okay. So two first place fans checking us out on Watch the Game tonight. I wanted to send those guys a shout out tonight. So before we went any further. So that's my assessment. I think that was the first game that the Bears won because of Caleb Williams. Now, moving on to week 11, Minnesota. We continue. It just when Caleb goes up against good defenses, he's not as effective. And the one thing that I didn't realize until he became a pro is he has no deep ball. Really, no deep ball. And I think with Caleb, it's not because he doesn't have the arm. It's because he cannot set his feet in the pocket. He doesn't really have the time to set his feet in the NFL to get that deep ball off. And when he does have a guy wide open, he's overthrowing him from time to time. I think he's getting a little bit better in the pocket. But like I say again, when he plays good defenses, he struggles. The Bears were able to run the football a little bit. Special teams didn't play out there particularly well to the end. Defense once again gets 2 turnovers. They win the turnover battle. They win the game. 19-17. JJ McCarthy goes down at the end of the game after such maybe 3.5 quarters of bad football.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, he goes in and he drives them down the field, put them up. Almost, deja vu from the week 1 matchup. But Devin Duvernay happened. And he deserves his props because Devin Duvernay has not been getting, he's been getting a lot of criticism as far as why did the Bears go out and sign him. He was not showing himself capable of being the special teams threat that they brought him in to be. He stepped up. He made a play after special teams was not so special up to that point. Carlos Santos missing the kick to extend the lead to 9 points. Was able to redeem himself and kick a game winner. Carlos Santos, Devin Duvernay get game balls along with Kevin Warren because it was his birthday.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's how I sum up that game as far as the Bears and Vikings.
I still think, I don't know if we can put a value on them just learning how to win and really trying to turn that culture around. But as we watch the game, it's a lot that they still need to clean up. They still make way too many penalties. They still not as efficient as they need to be in the scoring zones. I mean, these games really, if they was really like a really solid, legit, good team, there's not these games wouldn't be coming down to field goals and they got to come down to, get a last second play or something. Thankful to be on the right side of it, you know what I'm saying? But they it's just a lot offensively to that they can still improve on, but they are showing you that okay, at least we know how to win, and the foundations are there. They leaning on the running game heavy. They I think they're really finding out who they playmakers are. I think they didn't found that
on
out
both
with
sides, on both
yeah,
sides of the ball.
Coasting Love. You see, I text y'all yesterday. Hey, give me what's his name? Nashawn Wright over Jalen Johnson. Hey,
You
if
can say that
Jalen,
right now. Yeah, he's making plays. I mean,
he'll give up
he's
something
been
too,
a
though.
little bit inconsistent,
Yeah.
but he has made enough plays to build confidence in him going forward.
And I know people they're gonna be like, "What you'll move off Jalen Johnson?" This is what I'm saying. Okay, I know I'm hard on Jalen just like you hard on Caleb. I get it. I understand. But if a situation comes up where we can go and get a Max Crosby or a Miles Garrett and Jalen Johnson got to be part of the package, you feel okay giving Jalen Johnson up, seeing what Wright has been doing this year. Yes, he's giving up some stuff, but he's also made some plays. So that's why I say, hey, we I'm cool. I'm cool with Nation Wright. And guess what? He's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Right now, I mean, in the next year or two, that could change if he
Hey,
continues to
we
play
hey,
the
we
way
got
he's
to bring
playing
in
right now.
the pass rusher. We got to pay them. So we
Yes,
need somebody on a cheap contract.
definitely need to improve in the pass rush. I think Booker is getting this was his second straight week getting in on the field. I think Dominique Robinson's back. I like Booker. Give him he should still be fresh. So you can expect for him maybe to make a push down the stretch.
Even great.
Being that this is only his second game with the Bears.
Yeah.
He was a preseason demon, exhibition demon. Was always one of the better defensive players on the field in the exhibition season. Now he has the opportunity to show his wares um, in the regular season. Special teams has to get better. Although they won the game via special teams late in the game, Hightower has to get his guys together and be a little bit more consistent. But if you look around the league, the way that the kickoff is set up,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's really hard for the kicking team to win the field position battle when you look at the way the kickoff is set up.
I think
Now, punt
designed that way
punt
though.
return
Yeah.
is pretty much still the same, but special teams. I don't know who's great at special teams in the NFL right now,
Yeah.
statistically.
Yeah, I can't really think of no units that's blowing it out the park or anybody that I didn't heard on TV that they, highlighted their units specifically. But I want to go back to the end of the Bears Vikings game after Duvernay makes the return and they're at midfield. I thought it was a mistake that Ben Johnson got away with for them to have, I think they still had 3 timeouts, 50 seconds on the clock to not get closer than they did for Cairo's field goal attempt, being that he had missed one earlier in the year, and we know his leg ain't that strong. So I thought they mishandled that, but it just worked out.
What do
They
you
should have
mean
been
when you
10
say
yards closer.
mishandle? Because we talked about this before. What do you mean when they say you thought they should have let Caleb throw the ball a couple times?
No, 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 no. No. Remember, Ben let the clock run down,
Okay,
and he called the timeout,
okay,
and that was it. I think he left the game with a timeout in his pocket
oh, okay.
because Minnesota they froze him out, and then I think the Bears still had one left. I thought that field goal should have been at least 7 yards closer than what it was.
Okay, I get you
Yeah,
because if you when I saw the end of the game and I saw how Caleb walked off the field, he didn't look happy initially. Now once he went over to the post game interview, it was a different vibe.
yeah.
But immediately after it happened, they showed him walking off the field. He didn't look happy. Caleb looked like he wanted that ball in his hands to make a big play. I mean, to win the game. Maybe Caleb wanted to get a little bit more a better field position. Not so much a touchdown pass, better field position. And I think he wanted to be responsible for making a play to get him to do that. Now, like I said, once the post game started, you didn't get that vibe.
Right.
So I think that Caleb was a little bit unhappy. He probably he probably didn't have a whole lot of faith, just like you, and just like a lot of other Bear fans. Probably didn't have a lot of faith in Cairo making that 49-yard field goal, was it?
Yeah,
After he had just missed a 45-yarder
I think it
to
was. Yeah,
extend the lead.
yeah.
So, you know, at that time, you probably didn't have a lot of faith. Me personally, um, they like to call this a comeback led by Caleb Williams. No, it was not. It was Devin Duvernay had a hell of a kick return.
They didn't. Yeah, because they didn't throw it.
And
They ran
then
the
and
ball. Yeah.
then and then Caleb Williams did his best impression of JJ McCarthy at Michigan University and handed the ball off twice, 2 or 3 times to DeAndre Swift, and that's how they end up getting in field position to kick the winning field goal by Cairo Santos, and he was able to redeem himself. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they were watching, but statistically, this was not a Caleb Williams game. No turnovers. That's his number one job, in my opinion. Don't turn my ball over.
Yeah.
16 to 32, 193 yards, no touchdowns, no interception. Okay. I think he was sacked twice. Um, but not a spectacular game on the part of Caleb Williams. Now, let me talk about the Minnesota Vikings before we jump off. I'll let you finish up with this game. JJ McCarthy. Damn. Um, Both quarterbacks were 16 to 32 in this game. That's crazy. But he was 16 to 32, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Kevin Byard had one of those picks, and we just talked about the
Nation
other
right.
guy.
Nation
Was
right.
Nashawn Wright. 2 picks, one by Nashawn Wright, one by Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard is showing to be the best player on defense so far for the Bears. He's the one, making the big plays as far as the takeaways are concerned. Really being consistent, getting those guys to, play well on the back end, considering they do have the injuries with Kyler Gordon being out, Jalen Johnson being out. They're saying Jalen Johnson is back in practice and maybe he'll be returning soon. But I like what Kevin Byard is bringing to this defense. Swift, not Sweat. He showed up late in that game, had a big deflection. He's showing some signs of getting close, but he's still not getting to the quarterback as much as Bear fans would like. But he's showing some progress. I mean, he's hurrying the quarterbacks up. He's getting it. It's just not he's not getting the sacks. The numbers aren't there. DeAndre Swift is continuing to after last week, giving the load over. Maybe he was a little banged up, so they last week going up against the Giants, they let not Genty, but
Manunga.
Manungai carry the rock big time for 100. I forget how many yards he had last week, but he had a big day. And then they gave Swift light work last week against the Giants, but this week they went back to Swift more often. Swift he had 21 carries for 90 yards, no touchdowns, but that's a productive day for DeAndre Swift. So the running game was able to get going. Kyle Monangai 12 for 23 yards on the ground. Caleb Williams he had 26 yards rushing. So the run game for the Bears 140 yards. in total was a decent day for the Chicago Bears rushing the football. Um, Let me get to J.J. McCarthy and then Kevin O'Connell. Um, J.J. McCarthy, I looked it up. He's still really, really young.
22, right?
And I think he doesn't turn 23 until January. Really, really young. Probably should be sitting out this year behind Sam Darnold in Minnesota. If you go based on what happened last year, going into this season, I was one to think that they should, should have brought Darnold back and let JJ sit another year because for one, he had the knee injury, and then two, Darnold played so particularly well, and I didn't really want to rush JJ. In my opinion, I would not have wanted to rush JJ and to see if you can continue with the success of Sam Darnold. But they let him go. Of course, JJ McCarthy has a really good fourth quarter against the Bears. This is my thing with Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy. I think he's asking him to do too much in the pass game. He's not leaning on the run game as much as he should. He has two pretty good running backs, and he don't lean on them enough, in my opinion. Um, Given it that was the formula for success for JJ in Michigan, and I do understand in NFL he's going to have to make plays with his arm, but he's asking him to do a little bit too much in this situation. He did have some drops by his receivers in this game, but I set off there to say this: they better not give up on him too soon, because what I see with JJ is a guy that's going to gain confidence, and it may not happen in Minnesota if they jump off of him too soon. But this the thing: he does not have happy feet. He does have pocket presence. The one thing you got to figure out with JJ McCarthy is when he figure out what he sees, he's going to be much better. Because he does not have happy feet. He has some inaccuracies, but he is most of the time he's hitting the right receivers. He's making the right reads. At 22 years old, coming up on 23, Minnesota better be really, really patient on how they move on or stay with JJ McCarthy. He's the type of guy that could probably end up in another city and do exactly what Sam Darnold is doing, if not better.
It all depend on you got the best, probably the best wide receiver in the game.
I
How
understand
patient?
that, but I
How
understand
patient is
that,
he
but
gonna be? That how
what
patient is
what
he gonna be?
this is his first season with him.
Hey, but you know how wide receivers are.
What? It ain't about okay. In the grand
He just
scheme of
started
things,
chirping last week.
in the grand scheme of things, I understand that, but I'm telling you, JJ McCarthy, he's seeing enough right now. He's going through enough frustration right now. And it can't get a lot worse with him. When you look at it, it really can't get a lot worse with him. They're asking him to do something he wasn't able to do, he didn't do in college. So all he can do at this point is get better
Well, it's
because he's
sink or
really
swim.
playing the position now.
Yeah, I mean it's sink or swim for JJ. Like I said, I don't know what JJ is. I still don't know. I know he's a winner. I knew he was gonna get a score on that last drive when the Vikings, and sure enough, he threw the touchdown pass. Like that didn't surprise me that he did that. The
Yeah.
two interceptions don't surprise me also because I don't know what he is as a quarterback. I saw him at Michigan make one or two throws and maybe the three big games that they had per year. Everything else, they was, the running game was just so dominant. Like you said, Caleb Williams turned around and did his best JJ McCarthy of Michigan impersonation. That's just how good they was. So I don't know what JJ is other than I know he came in as a 5-star quarterback out of LaGrange Park, Illinois. Other than that, I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out real time. But it all comes down to Justin Jefferson. And if he feel like he's not getting his numbers and he feel like you know My connection with Carson Wentz was, a little bit better, which it was. Carson Wentz, they kind of connected a little bit early, and then Carson just lost 2 games. But
Carson Wentz is broken. Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson can go to the same club. They're broken. Both of them broken for two
we
different reasons, but
you
broke
not thinking
nevertheless.
about you not thinking about this like a diva wide receiver. I
Look,
can't do I can't do this. I can't afford to have JJ McCarthy be my quarterback, and I see Jamar Chase. He got Burrow, and then they go out and go get him Joe Flacco, and he's still getting his numbers. I can't allow that to happen, and
get
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
JJ McCarthy is 22 years old. In 2 years, in 2 years. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I have more faith in JJ McCarthy than I do in Caleb Williams going long haul. The reason why I say this is because JJ McCarthy has pocket presence. He'll stick in there and he'll make the throws. Caleb, he has a few tricks up his sleeve. And that's what everyone gravitates to. The one or two passes that no one else can make. But I believe JJ is going to have the capacity to sit in the pocket, read defense, and let it go. I don't know if we're going to get that from Caleb long haul. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, is going to be Kyler Murray 2.0. What you seen last week, what you seen with Russell Wilson, is what you're going to see with Caleb Williams' future. This is what I mean when I say that. If Caleb Williams does not develop the ability to sit in that pocket and let that thing go, he's 1 or 2 injuries from being Russell Wilson and being slow. Now, all this elusiveness in the pocket is great right now. But as the years add up and the hits add up, it's not going to be there. You got to be able to sit in that pocket and see something. And you have to know what you see. And you have to get to the line and you got to make the checks. You got to get them in. You got to get them out. Certain protections. I don't know. Ben Johnson is doing wonders with Caleb Williams. And if Caleb Williams does not develop the ability to sit in that pocket and let that thing go, he probably won't be as successful as Russell Wilson. Because remember, Russell Wilson had that great defense,
Yeah,
that was able to get to the Super Bowl, or he could have the ability to play at that level and play that style of ball. But as he gotten older, it's not. He can move a little bit. So right now, that's Caleb Williams' superpower, the ability to move. If he can't sit his ass in that pocket, he 1 or 2 injuries away from. I'm telling you. That's what I see.
well,
Kyler Murray 2.0.
let it be known here that on tonight's November 17th episode, 2025, LA Cheatham said JJ McCarthy will be better in the long haul.
In 2 years.
Okay,
Yes.
in 2 years than Caleb
2
Williams.
years going forward. Because
And
I believe
Caleb
he's going to
Williams.
see stuff. And like I said, it's all about the pocket presence for me.
Okay.
When I look around the league, I'm looking at how guys sit in the pocket. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. That's the reason why they've been able to play in this league so long. Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, they get into that point. There's
Jared
not a
Goff
lot of
ain't been looking
quarterbacks in the
good.
NFL
He
because
looked
there's
poor.
so many young quarterbacks in the league that can just step up without a lot of coaching because they've seen so much. And Aaron Rodgers is one. I think Joe Flacco is one. Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid.
Caleb Williams got Ben Johnson.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, if he don't sit if he can stay healthy, fine. But The minute if he's one or two injuries away from not being able to, I'm telling you, bro, he has to calm it down and sit in that pocket and let it rip. And
I
this the throw that only one or two guys can make. You only get one or two opportunities to make those throws in the NFL. You have to be 85, 90% of the time. You got to be letting it rip. That's just what I see. And I just don't see that from him. He's ejecting the pocket, and he better stay healthy. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I got a good feeling that if he don't stay healthy, you're gonna get Tyson Bagent out there, and he's gonna be letting that thing rip, and that offense is gonna look totally different. Now, understand, it's not talent, because Tyson Bagent is not as talented, but it's the ability to run the system the way it's intended to be ran. And one thing about coaching, when somebody's doing that thing the way you want it done, you're gonna have a tendency to lean that way. So that's just all I'm saying. He better get the plan on schedule and on time, and he better not get injured. That's his superpower right now. His availability is a superpower, and occasionally he makes a huge, big throw from here and there.
and Caleb
Because
Williams
Ben Johnson ain't
Kyler
Andy
Murray
Reid.
2.0.
Yeah, he's
This,
Kyler Murray 2.0,
this is the
in
words
my
of my
opinion.
co-host. I did not say these words. I
I
just,
know you don't like it, but that's just what I see. Because you got to remember, Kyler Murray was extremely effective his first year too. But once the injuries started to pile up, I'm telling you, bro, that's why I say this. Kyler Murray 2.0, he better figure it out in their pocket real soon. I think we spent too much. Unless you got something else, I
oh
spent
no,
too
no,
much
no.
time
I
talking
was
about
I was
Caleb Williams.
letting you cook. I was letting you cook because I ain't want no part of that one.
Go ahead. Hey, I'm standing on that.
Hey,
And
you
at the end of the day, I don't have to do anything but say I was wrong. That's just how I feel.
you got it. You got it. You got
Yeah.
that one. We can go on to the around the division.
Okay, so in the north, we had the Packers, we had the Giants, square off. Packers win the game 27-20. And once again, in my opinion, two things happened in this game. In my opinion, Jameis Winston went out 19 to 29, 201 yards, one touchdown, one interception. And Jameis Winston proved to me that Russell Wilson is done. Jameis Winston proved to me that he should have been the backup against the Bears. Jameis Winston proved to me that he probably could start for a team or two in the NFL.
Start.
Start, yes. Because this is my thing with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is not taken seriously. Because Jameis Winston doesn't, I don't want to say he don't take himself seriously, but he does not give off the perception that he wants to be a starter in his league. But what I seen in New York, Jameis Winston, he turns the ball over from time to time. Don't get me wrong.
And what's
But he
time to
he
time?
has a juice. He has a juice about himself. He puts juice in offenses. Now, short term, don't get it, but Jameis Winston will probably be better off with the Raiders.
They already got
Jameis
Jameis
Winston,
Winston out there. His name is Geno Smith.
yeah, but I'm telling you, Geno Smith, Geno Smith can look like his body language just sucks from time to time. You don't have to worry about that with Jameis. Jameis is always like he's always electrifying his teammates. They looking to make plays, and occasionally he'll throw the ball to the wrong team. I get it, but Jameis Winston is good enough to start
we
in
gotta
at
come up
least
with
one or two teams in the NFL right now.
we got to come up with a better word than occasionally throw it to the other team. Oftenly throw it to the
He threw a pick yesterday, and you know it was coming. But when you look at the energy they had, the Giants had a different energy. They pushed the Packers to their limit. We didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. Don't get me wrong. I know the Packers been struggling with the offense, And then I think
We
what's the running
expected
back
them
for
to
the
look better
Packers
than
went down too.
we expected the Giants to look better than they did when Russell came in the game,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
and we seen
But
how they looked first up. I mean,
I just see Jameis gets more out of his teammates when he's actually throwing them the football. I mean, he's good for a pick or two a game. I think Jameis is the perfect quarterback. You can calm down with a running game and you can probably win. You got to be, particular what you're asking Jameis to do. But as far as bringing the energy, he does that. He's the exact opposite of Russell Wilson, if you think about it, because Jameis can rally the locker room, but Russell kind of turns everyone off. Just the exact opposite. But he definitely proved that Russell was done. Um, Jordan Love, what is this? What is this that line look for yesterday?
Jordan Love. Let me get that Jordan Love. He kind of had
He
a
was 13 of 24, 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not particularly great, but he had some big plays in this game. I think the Packers are still recovering from the loss of Tucker Craft, and I do believe they lost their running back as well,
oh yeah.
Josh Jacobs.
He went out the game. Yeah.
He went out. Williams came in. He ran. I think he had a touchdown. And I think going forward, after what I've seen from the Packers, that they'll make the adjustments. Think they're going to ask Jordan Love to make more plays with his arm because they're not going to lean as much on the run game. I think that's going to be a difference. I think with Josh Jacobs was on the field, I think um, they asked him to lean more towards the run game. But now Jordan Love is probably going to have to earn his money unless Emmanuel Wilson can show he has the ability to be as effective as Josh Jacobs. But it's about to heat up in the north. The schedule is especially for a team like the Bears. I'm really excited to see how they do against because every game going forward for the Bears is a playoff team pretty much. A team that's fighting to play in the playoffs, including the Bears, with the exception of maybe the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
If you look at the rest of that schedule, everyone's trying to get in the playoffs, and everyone has a lot to play for going into the stretch of the stretch of the down stretch of this season. Um, Packers get the win. They say Bears first place in the North. Packers get the win 27-20. And then the nightcap for the NFC North was the Eagles and the Lions. Uh, a really physical game. I think we spoke earlier. The Eagles. The Eagles are coming. They're showing to be more of a defensive team than they have been the last couple seasons. A real ugly physical game against the Packers a week before, and then last night against the Lions, another physical game. But it's probably some bad decisions on the part of Dan Campbell on some of those.
That's where I was about to start pointing the arrow because I know everybody loves Dan Campbell in the Detroit organization and them players love him and stuff, but that offense hasn't looked the same without Ben Johnson, I should say. And Dan Campbell took over play calling duties last week, and this is his second week calling plays, and he went for it a lot on fourth down yesterday, and I don't think they successfully completed one. So I was just kind of looking at that at like a situation where the offensive players kind of start, side-eyeing Dan like, look, bro, you ain't an offensive coach, so don't think you finna come in here and start calling plays. Like, you can lose this whole thing real quick thinking that, I'm the head coach. And I don't think he's doing it really out of like no ego thing. I think he really just trying to get the team going. But you got checks and balances for a reason, and I think he may be stepping into that gray area where things, because Jared Goff looked horrible yesterday,
Mhm.
horrible. Like,
Now the thing with Jared Goff is he's a California guy. He don't particularly play well outside in the elements as far as off the West Coast. Uh and that was something I was watching my boy John Middlecoff, and that was one thing he pointed out. He says he say once Middlecoff say once he saw that Goff was out there with gloves on, he said this good. He ain't gonna get the job done. It's pretty much what he didn't think he was gonna get the job done just based on how he was all bundled up. But the Eagles, man, physical team,
low key, I think
changing
more
their
quarterbacks
identity,
can
but
do
they
that.
still have the capacity to explode on offense. You just don't know when or who, when they're gonna do it or who's gonna do it. We know who the suspects are, but they still have the capacity to have a great offensive explosion. But that defense is for real, physical. But I think, like I said again, they beat the Lions 16-9, 16-9. But I think Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down in a lot of crucial situations instead of taking points, kicking field goals. Um, I would wonder if he's going to learn a lot from this game in particular. Will it propel him and his play calling to be a lot more conservative when you talk about just putting points on the board? Because we know for sure Jamison Williams, Jameer Gibbs, and Amon Ross St. Brown are big playmakers.
Yeah,
But when they don't make the big plays, just take the points because one of them three guys is capable of making a play or two. Just
yeah.
take the points that's given to you, and that was the biggest problem I seen with him last night. Jameson Williams, man, dude, between the 20s last night, him and Jameer Gibbs,
Mm-hmm.
fast as hell. I mean, they just didn't hit the head on the goalpost, but Jameson Williams had a touchdown. He had underneath slant route. He took it in the house. That's
But
where
that
he
you
got
talking
that.
about that screen Jameer Gibbs had?
Jameson Williams had a touchdown too. He had like a slant pattern,
No, no,
caught a
no. I
slant.
ain't, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the Jameer Gibbs when he caught that screen and he was like a
He caught
50.
a couple screens and it's
Yeah,
like was breaking them for big chunks of yardage. I'm like, dude, them dudes fast as hell.
yeah,
And as long if Dan Campbell can just calm it down and just when you got your opportunity to put up points, just put up the points because those guys are capable of making the huge plays. And I'm wondering now going forward if he'll learn from that. That's pretty much it. Vic Fangio, probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. The two defensive tackles he got, athletic as hell. And the Eagles, like I said, they showing themselves more so as a defensive team right now, but we know they're capable of scoring points when they have to or when they want to or whatever. They do have at all three levels, you know, somebody that can get the job done. It's just a matter of time. But the Eagles are the Super Bowl defending champs, and right now they're just hanging their hat on their defense. Um, that's pretty much all I got for that game. But one of the bigger games, unless you got something else, probably one of the bigger games in the NFC yesterday was the Rams and Seahawks. This
yeah.
game came down. This was the nail biter. We talked a little bit about Sam Darnold leaving Minnesota. He don't play particularly well against the Rams. He didn't do it last year in the playoffs.
Or
Um,
big game.
big games, like you said, and then what he had about four
Four.
picks at least in this game, and they still had a chance to win at the end.
Yeah.
Still had a chance to win that game on field goal. That says a lot about the Seahawks defense, the Seahawks resilience, and them coming into their own. They remind me. The Bears remind me now of what the Seahawks were last year, and the Seahawks have stepped it up another notch this year, and they're like a lot more dominant on defense. And Sam Darnold has been playing particularly well, not so much in the Rams game, but they're dominant on defense. They're getting it done. They're taking that next level. I tell you, the Bears are ascending. I'm not going to deny that, but they are, in my opinion, what the Seahawks were last year. But the Seahawks, they went down to the Rams, but they still had a chance to win this game with a field goal after all the mistakes and turnovers and the bad, not so great of a game by Sam Darnold. They still had a chance to win. I think they do have. I think they still have another matchup with the Rams later on
Yeah,
in the
this is the
season.
first one. So you basically telling me the Seahawks tried to do their best Michigan Wolverines impersonation at Wrigley Field on Saturday. That's what you're
Oh
telling
man,
me.
I thought
That's what you're
about you
telling
when
me
I
right
watched.
now.
I was watching that game in the car. I had to watch that. I was on the move watching that game, Michigan and Northwestern. I
5
thought about
turnovers.
you guys
Yeah.
when especially uh when the quarterback threw the interceptions and then he threw another one like back to back. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, and I thought about texting you guys. I was like, man, look, the Michigan Wolverines doing whatever they can to give this game at Wrigley Field a little bit more appeal. So that's why this game is so close. But they pulled it out. Your Wolverines pulled it out. Crazy thing is, I haven't seen a lot of Ohio State. I haven't watched a ton of Ohio State this year. Number one ranked team in the country. I haven't seen a lot of them this year, but I do know that on that one Saturday, I will be tuned in, and we about 2 weeks away from that big game.
Yeah.
So Michigan kept that game alive by beating Northwestern. They keep that. That's still a big game now that they beat Northwestern because I was a little concerned about their performance at Wrigley Field. And they're down two running backs.
Yeah. But I just was throwing that in there just because we was talking about Caleb doing his best JJ McCarthy at Michigan impersonation, but
I get it.
the Raiders, not the Raiders, the Rams. I know I feel like I'm like a little bit of the uniform of the Jersey police. I was rocking with them black jerseys that they had on yesterday.
I like them Rams jerseys. I like them too. With us, we hard on them jersey
Yeah.
swaps from the NBA to the NFL. We like to be familiar with what we see.
Yeah.
We classic and old school, but I did like those uniforms that the Rams put out all the way around the pants, the jerseys,
The helmet, yeah.
and the helmets. I did like that look. That black looked real good with the Rams yesterday. But the Rams Seahawks was a big matchup. Rams come away with a victory with another opportunity to play the Seahawks again later on this season. To see what that matchup, that division is heating up as well. Because even the 49ers are playing. The 49ers are like they're probably a wild card team, and they playing okay considering the fact that they playing 1 minute you got Mac Jones at quarterback, then you get Brock Purdy back against the Cardinals, and it was a good game for him to come back against the
49ers
Cardinals.
7-4.
Yeah, the 49ers. I believe I picked the 49ers to win that division, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But the Bears and 49ers, the Bears are in first place in their division. But the Bears still have to show that they can beat the Lions, and then they probably have to beat the Packers twice now that they've lost one game to the Lions and lost one game to the Vikings. They probably have to beat the Packers twice and beat the Lions to
Yeah.
win the division.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, I can see the 49ers and Bears later in the season. They'll be playing each other, and that game can be huge. We're looking at two teams that might see each other twice. We talk about the Bears and 49ers
Well,
as far as wild card contention.
I
And
think
then they do play each other. They're on each other's schedule later on this season.
didn't the Packers lose to the Browns? Because I know like tiebreakers come in with
Yeah.
who
The
you played
Packers
or
lost
whatever.
to the Browns. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
13-10
So that's gonna
in Cleveland.
even for the Bears, that's gonna make that game even more important. They got to beat the Browns just in
Yeah.
case that they split with the Packers. You know what
And,
I mean?
and the Browns defense ain't no chumps.
Yeah, I know.
The Browns defense ain't no chumps. I told a partner at work, if the Browns defense and the Bengals offense
was
came
on.
together, that'd be one hell of a team. But people in Cincinnati and Cleveland, from what I understand, they don't get along like that, so that won't be happening. But yeah, man, NFL action is very, very interesting from week to week. We got we had a chance talking about the Browns. We had a chance to see Shador get in the game. Shador,
Yeah,
I keep telling people, look, be patient. You don't have to. You don't. We know you love Dion. We know you love Shador, but this is going to play out. The Cleveland Browns are playing out their draft status. They drafted Dylan Gabriel first. They're going to give Dylan Gabriel an opportunity, and this is the NFL. And I figured that he would get his opportunity. Now the question is, they played Baltimore. He played the second half. Didn't look great, but considering he didn't have the preparation with that first string offense,
at
and
all.
considering that he didn't look great, but he didn't look extremely bad either. He threw a pick. He looked like a rookie, but come on, man, let's give it time. And we have to see now. Dylan Gabriel
No, he getting
is
the start.
in. Say that again.
Shador, it just came out on Bleacher Report about an hour ago. Shador
He
starting.
gonna get the start.
Yeah,
Okay, so Shador be getting his chance this week. He get to work with the ones, and we'll get to see Shador in a game plan built for Shador. To all the fans that was ranting and raving for Shador, you get your opportunity to get Shador. Shador get his opportunity to play in the NFL and get the start for the Cleveland Browns. So all the conspiracies, all that stuff is done now. Shador gets to go out and do his thing. And if he does not pan out with the Browns, he gets to put down some tape. And who knows? Who knows? But now Shador is gonna get his shot. And
yeah,
and that's looking at the way the Cleveland Browns roster was constructed, we knew it was gonna be rough and hard for Shador to hit the field. But the time is now. And he has, considering how long it takes Dylan Gabriel to get back from this concussion, he has quite a bit of football still left to play. So if Shador can go out there and do his thing, he get the rest of the season, I think. And we should see.
yeah.
We should see. So hey, it is what it is. Shador gonna get his shot. I don't know who they play next week, but Shador's getting stuck. So now all the Shador fans and Deion Sanders fans, we get our chance to see Shador do his thing. The conspiracy run is over. It's time for Shador to do his thing.
Did you see that somebody broke into his house during the game?
No, I didn't see that. You
I
put
just,
me up on game with that one. That's crazy.
yeah, I just saw
Yeah.
that too. I was trying to find that report that I saw that he was gonna get the start next week.
Okay.
But yeah, we can keep going.
Okay. Um, we gonna wrap up. I want to jump into next week, and I know we leaving a lot on the table with week 11 being in the books. Another key matchup out of the key matchups was Baltimore and Tampa. This is one of them games where the first team, in my opinion, the 40 should win. High scoring game, not my liking, but it was a big matchup nonetheless. The Jacksonville Jaguars put it on the Chargers. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati. Aaron Rodgers, I think he has a broken bone in his left wrist, not his throwing hand, I don't believe. So I don't know. The Bears play Pittsburgh next week, so I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be getting the start. It'll be Mason Rudolph. But anyway, the Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 34-12. So that's the Bears matchup for next week. In week is that? Week 12? Week what is that? Week 12? Where we at?
Week 12. Week
Week
12.
12. Okay. So like I say, I'm gonna move along. So these are the matchups for week 12. And then I'm on, unless you got something else we could probably get off. I'm pressed for time now. But um Pittsburgh at Chicago. New England. Well, let's hold on. Let me back up. The Thursday night game is Buffalo at Houston.
Yep.
That's a decent matchup for a Thursday night game. Buffalo at Houston, Pittsburgh at Chicago, New England at Cincinnati, the New York Giants at Detroit, Minnesota. JJ McCarthy getting a chance to go to Lambeau Field. They'll be taking on the Green Bay Packers. Seattle going to Tennessee. Indianapolis in a 12 o'clock game, 1 o'clock Eastern. They will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. This was a game we thought they would be flexing
Flex.
to three, at least the 3 o'clock window. I guess not. So that's a 1 o'clock Eastern start. Kansas City and Indy, NKC, the Jets at Baltimore. Tyrod Taylor will be getting a start from what it looks like in Baltimore. I don't think it makes a difference. Justin Fields needs to sit his ass down. He need to go get him a real offensive coach, or he needs to retire. Okay, so I'm giving Justin that tough love. Sit your ass down, learn how to play position, quit pouting. I didn't like his body language against the Patriots last week, and that's just how I got it. I mean, I got that tough love for Justin Fields. Cleveland at Las Vegas, Jacksonville at Arizona, Philly at Dallas in the 3 o'clock window. Right now, as we speak, Dallas is up on the Raiders 31-9. Who put together this schedule for the Monday Night Football in this late into the season for the Cowboys and Raiders to play was not a good matchup. There's probably about 2 or 3 games that was played yesterday that could have probably been a Monday night game. It had better ratings. Pick one. But right now, as we speak, the Cowboys over the Raiders 31-9. Atlanta at New Orleans, Tampa at the Rams. That's another good matchup. That's Sunday Night Football, so that'll be a good matchup. Hopefully, both defense can keep these offenses under 40 points. Uh, and for my liking, and then Monday night, a block game. You got Carolina at San Francisco next Monday night. So big matchups for next week. Of course, the Bears and Steelers, Colts and Chiefs. Let me see what else is big. What else is big? Buffalo and Houston was a decent matchup. For the rivalry, I guess you could say Philly and Dallas, because did Dallas beat Philly? No, that was the
No,
first game of the
no,
season this year, right?
no.
That's
That's
we,
the Jalen Carter spit game. It was closer than what we thought it
but
was
that
going
was
to
the first game of the season. That kicked off the season
be. Yeah,
this year, right?
Thursday
On
night.
Thursday
Yeah.
night. So yeah, okay. So that's a rivalry, a division rivalry matchup. So Tampa Rams should be a decent matchup. Unless you see another matchup you're interested in, those are the ones that I can pinpoint.
No, I was just doing some research trying to see why that Colts game didn't get flexed, and I see that they if they didn't designate the game on Sunday to be a TBD game or a Sunday afternoon game, it's not eligible to be flexed in the Sunday night football, Monday night football. So, or
Well, I
I guess
didn't
they
think it
didn't
would be
designate it
flexed to be into those prime times, but I thought it would probably go from noon to
to
4.
325. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be it's worthy of that matchup. That's a huge matchup because the Chiefs probably can't afford to lose another game. They're 5-5. I think the Colts only lost 2 games. They looking pretty good, but that's gonna be a big game for the Colts because they got to go into KC and show that they're a worthy playoff team. We already know what the Chiefs are. We're still figuring out what the Colts are. So the Colts, I think this is a big game for both teams. Big game for both teams. That's probably the biggest matchup of the week, considering the situation the Chiefs are in. But that's what I see.
Hey, listen, I hope Aaron Rodgers plays. Because I want to get some get back on him. Even though I like Aaron Rodgers, and I
Yeah.
picked Pittsburgh Steelers to win that division when we did our picks at the beginning.
Okay.
So they can't really afford to keep dropping games, and Baltimore's on a winning streak. But I'm with the home team, so we got to get that. We got to get we got to get some get back on Aaron. So I hope he plays. I know he's pushing to play. Sucks that they didn't move that Chiefs Colts game to 3:00 because we're gonna have to kind of go back and forth because we are in that 12:00 window as well. You said Tampa was playing who on Sunday night? Tampa and who?
Tampa is at the Rams Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, so that'll be
That could be a
one.
good game as long as both teams stand up 40 points.
That's what I was about to say. That'll be one I'll have on and be paying attention to, not just have on in the background. So, but yeah, good week 12. Hoping the Wolverines take care of business at Maryland so we can get to the game the following week. And we just, we rolling. I know we ain't talked to no NBA yet, no college basketball.
No reason.
Yeah, I was just watching Wisconsin and SIU Edwardsville play a minute ago. I just had to see some hoops because I ain't care about Dallas and the Raiders.
Yeah, I got you. It's interesting you talk about the NBA. I haven't looked into it. But since they have went to the NBC Peacock format as far as broadcasting these games or streaming these games, what's been interesting to me is to see actually the ratings and the popularity of the games. I know coming to open up of the season, the NBA opened up with a lot of controversy with the gambling issue. So how that's affecting the viewership of these NBA games, I don't know. Me personally, on a Monday night, on a Sunday, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays and Thursdays belong to football. So maybe I'll watch it on Tuesday. But the past few Tuesdays, I've been finding some good college basketball games. And I just believe that I'll continue to be an NBA conference final fan.
Actually, I just thought about I might be at the Bulls game versus, believe it or not, the Miami Heat on Friday. So
okay,
I'll let
gotta
you
go
know
support your team.
I was about to say I am suspended, like you said, but I'll let you know if the NBA experience is fantastic still.
Okay, all right. It's been real. Bears about to get into the thick of the schedule, and we're still figuring out who they are. Right now, they're at the top of the North in NFC with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. Only one team on their schedule remaining that is not trying to get into the playoffs. That's what I believe. So, and that's being the Cleveland Browns. So, we'll be ready for week 12 and getting ready almost close to the big game, Michigan, Ohio State. And hopefully we can kind of preview. So I'm going to try and watch a little bit of Ohio State. Who Ohio State got this week?
Rutgers.
Okay. And Michigan has Maryland.
Yep.
Ohio State has Rutgers. I'm going to do my best to watch those two teams play.
Yes, Oregon is this week too.
Oregon and USC. You're right. Thanks for telling me that. Man, this college football, man, we get close to the playoffs. We can talk more about that too. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's been real.
We out.